Social media giant Facebook experienced its biggest drop in U.S. stock market history overnight, losing around $120 billion of its company value. Well, the crash came after Facebook's executives predicted downward growth rates for the company for years to come and a loss of 1 million users in Europe alone. Facebook has faced a backlash in recent months after its handling of fake news and user data. Well, with me to take a closer look is our correspondent, Alistair Sanford. Alistair, this was big news, big fall for Facebook. Can you tell us what's behind it?
Well, the figures do look dramatic, yes. In the US, the biggest ever one-day drop in a company's value. And this came as the tech company announced its results for the second quarter. And it forecast years of lower profit margins. The explanation from the chief executive, Mark Zuckerberg, here it is. He says, we're investing so much in security that it will significantly impact our profitability. Now, costs in this area have soared some 50% compared to this period last year. Facebook's been hiring more people to deal with issues like privacy and misinformation. Given the context, perhaps it's not surprising. We've had 2 years of investigations and scandals, from Russian meddling in the US presidential election to the Cambridge Analytica scandal, where 18 million users had their data compromised. On top of all that bad publicity, here in Europe, we've got the new EU privacy law, which is having an impact. And we had another flavour of all this yesterday with the Brexit referendum campaign, when a series of targeted and often contentious ads by the official Vote Leave campaign put on Facebook, they were released to a committee of MPs investigating fake news.
And Alistair, could this be the beginning of the end for Facebook? What's ahead? What's next for the company?
Views differ on this, but I think the beginning of the end is a little bit premature. There are suggestions that Facebook has been trying to anticipate all this, getting ahead of the game, managing expectations, and that it's not been taken by surprise, as it were. But yet there are indications that it is struggling in certain areas. It's got a huge problem, for instance, with fake profiles and fake pages. And it's disabled something like 1.3 billion, for instance, just in the past year. Facebook users are tightening their privacy settings. There are concerns over revenue. The number of users is disappointing. It's slightly down in Europe. And although it's static in the US and Canada, they were hoping to get more. There are suggestions younger people are going to other platforms, but, and it's a big but, something like a third of the world's population are on Facebook. It still dominates the market. It has the likes of Instagram and WhatsApp and Messenger, and it's still growing, although perhaps less than before. It had been warning about these profits as early as last year, way before lots of these scandals broke. And above all, its valuation is still well over $500 billion. And that is roughly the level it was back in early May. So when you look at it that way, perhaps it's not doing so badly.
And Alistair, I just want to ask you quickly, when we look at Europe, there's a lot of movement in terms of privacy, getting privacy stricter. Facebook really is going to have to deal with this properly, don't they?
Yes, and this is an area where it's been hiring more people, and that explains a lot of the costs. It says it's been throwing a lot more at security. And in Europe, of course, we've got the new privacy law, the General Data Protection Regulation, tightening up privacy and data for users. But a lot of it is really about how it looks. It's all kind of bad news, which doesn't make its image look very good, but it's still an incredibly powerful company, including in Europe.
Indeed. Thank you for that analysis, Alistair Sanford there.